Today is April 10th, 2023, and it's been 8 years since I started truly believing in Jesus, and so I figured I'd give a short little version of my testimony. I have a full long one that you can see on my YouTube channel, but just figured I'd share what happened on this day 8 years ago and kind of focus on that part of it because it was a cool story. So for a while, from when I was a teenager to my mid-20s, I was an alcoholic and a drug addict and just living a very reckless lifestyle, and I didn't really think about God. I was basically an atheist, maybe had some weird kind of new age spiritual beliefs, but didn't really care for God, didn't want anything to do with him. So I made fun of people who believed in him and just kept living my, destructive, hedonistic lifestyle. And then when I was 25, I was in a motocross accident and broke my back, almost died, and really changed things quite a bit for me. And in the midst of trying to figure out what my life meant at that point, now that I was paralyzed and I stayed sober after the accident, but I just felt empty and depressed, and so I was trying to figure out what was going on, and eventually that led me to start reading the Bible. And so I was just kind of going through it every day. I was stuck at home most of the time anyway, so I had a bunch of time on my hands, and I was just fascinated by it. There was something there, even though I didn't really understand some of it and didn't really believe in God yet. I was starting to open it up to the idea that there might be a God or something, but it was very vague in general at that point. But still just fascinated by scriptures. So I kept reading, and then one night I had a dream. And it was April 10th. And so in the dream, I was kind of reliving some of the bad things I'd done. And it was almost like I was on trial, being accused of these things, and I was very aware of my guilt. I knew I was guilty and I couldn't get out of it, so it felt very like I was trapped. And then all of a sudden, I appeared in this peaceful garden-like area, and it was very bright, and I saw a gravestone with the Celtic cross on top. And in the dream, just went up to it, and I said, "Okay, God, I give up. I need the help of Jesus Christ." And the very instant I said his name, it was like that guilt just vanished. Poof, it was gone. And I knew I was forgiven. I still was aware of what I had done, but I knew I was forgiven, and I knew who Jesus was, just instantly. And I woke up, and I'm kind of like, okay, what was that? That wasn't a normal dream. So I'm kind of freaking out at this point, and then it was just after 4 a.m, and so I ended up going to the Bible and just started reading right where I'd left off. Wasn't looking for a certain passage or anything. I just opened it up and started reading. And the first thing I read was Job 33. "For God speaks in one way and in two, though man does not perceive it. In a dream, in a vision of the night, when deep sleep falls on men while they slumber on their beds, then he opens the ears of men and terrifies them with warnings, that he may conceal pride from a man. He keeps back his soul from the pit, his life from perishing by the sword." So I was like, that's what just happened. And I was freaking out. I was weeping and filled with hope and fear and all these different emotions all at the same time. And I'm just like, this is real. This is actually real. And I'm kind of freaking out. And then later that day, I found out it was the 1-year anniversary of my grandpa's death. And I found out that the exact time my grandpa passed away was the exact time I woke up from my dream. So just kind of like, okay, what's going on here? This is a little weird, all these strange things happening. And then I hadn't been to his gravesite yet, never seen it before or anything, but I went that day, and the Celtic cross I saw in my dream was on his gravestone. And so that was like, the dream was enough. Like, I believed after the dream, but God just decided, this time I'm going to hammer it home, just so you know. And I mean, I'm glad he did, because that serves as an anchor to hold on to sometimes when I struggle with doubt or difficult times or whatever it is. But yeah, God did something totally supernatural and saved me. And from that moment on, my life changed dramatically. And it hasn't been super easy since then. I've dealt with a lot of stuff. If you've been watching these videos, I've been in the nursing home, or like I've been confined to bed for about 9 months now. Like, it's difficult, but I have a lot of hope, and I have a lot of joy, and it's just made life so much better, and I have hope for eternal life after this, and God's confirmed it through these supernatural means. So just figured I'd share that story today, since it's the anniversary of when that happened, and I hope it blesses you. Peace.